He left, on purpose, slowly, so she'd have time and to fall to her knees. He waited. Say something. Beg me. Cry. But she just stood there, watching, and stayed silent. And in that silence, he lost everything. We're working hard to reach our first 1,000 subscribers. Every click matters more than you think. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Don't miss what really matters. He thought she would come crawling back. He deliberately paused before leaving, gave her a chance to humiliate herself. He even put his suitcase by the door and opened it. Not all the way. He waited, thinking, now she'll break down. She'll say, please don't leave. I'll forgive everything. But she stood in the hallway, silent and watching. And that killed him more than any words could have. He left, slowly with fake importance. Every step down the stairs was a rehearsal of victory. He could almost hear her sobbing behind the door, almost felt her confusion. He was certain she wouldn't hold out. In a day, she'd text. In 2, she'd call. In 3, she'd show up herself. But a week passed. Nothing. Not a single text. Not one pathetic attempt. And his irritation began to crack. The first thought appeared, what if she's waiting too? He didn't know you don't play games with someone's ego like that sometimes your theater is just an empty stage, and the audience left long ago. He lay on the new couch in his new rental apartment, counting cracks in the ceiling, checking his phone every half hour, pretending it wasn't because of her, posting new stories. Not for friends, for her. Only for her. In 1, a glass of wine against the city skyline. In another, a stranger at a bar, blurry profile. The third, an old photo from their trip together, cropped. You could barely see her. Almost. He thought, now she'll see this. She'll feel it. Payback. But all he got was silence and a blank screen. And suddenly this whole show started looking cheap. I left so you would beg. But you just let me go. Like you didn't even care. That destroyed me. He remembered how she always said, I don't play games. How she asked, if something's wrong, tell me. Don't hurt me with silence. He thought that was weakness. Too simple, too honest. He wanted to see her on her knees, because he never learned how to stand on his own. Another week passed. He wasn't checking his phone anymore. He was waiting for it to hit him. Every vibration became a heartbeat. Every spam notification, a reminder that it wasn't her. Not her. Not her. The one who leaves for revenge always returns alone. Except sometimes, it's already too late. And then he couldn't take it. He wrote, do you really feel nothing? No response. He deleted it, wrote again, I miss you. I was wrong. Let's talk. 0. He went into their shared photo album. All the photos were alive. Too alive. In 1, she's holding his hand at a cafe. Her hand small, delicate, and his clenched, as if even then he was holding on but not feeling. In another, the beach. Her hair in the wind. He was annoyed then that she wanted to take photos at sunset. Now he looked at that photo like it was the last thing he had left of her. He wanted her to humiliate herself. But she disappeared. It wasn't even painful. It was like emptiness after an explosion, when the walls are still standing, but inside, everything's burned out. She just didn't show up, didn't ask, didn't write. She deleted herself, like she never existed. And me? I remained, alone with my ego. And it, isn't so fun in the silence. He tried to fill this void with anything. Friends he hadn't heard from in years suddenly became important. Parties, alcohol, random women he didn't remember. And the most pathetic part, the stories, constant posts, like he was begging, look, react, say something, anything. But she stayed silent, and he was screaming into the void. There's humiliation that others see, and there's the kind that only you see, inside, in the mirror, at 3 a.m. I looked at myself and thought, You wanted to beat her? You? This is victory? He stopped eating. Dark circles appeared under his eyes that even filters couldn't hide. Work started to annoy him. His colleague said one day, "You've become someone else. This isn't you." And he just smirked. "I just became myself." One day he went back to that album and started deleting photos, one after another, without emotion, just erasing. But he got to one, where she's laughing. Really laughing, easily, and he couldn't. He realized he wasn't erasing her. He was erasing himself next to her, and he had no other self. I started looking for traces of her, through mutual friends, through posts, through photos where someone tagged someone, looking for any hint that she was suffering, any crumb of pain. But nothing. She seemed to become lighter, like she was released. And that was the worst part. Not that she left, but that it became easier for her without me. He saw her in person once, completely by accident, at the cafe where they used to sit together often. She was walking, in a white shirt, with a book in her hands, with someone, didn't matter who. She was laughing, and in that moment he understood. She had died for him, but survived without him. He wanted to approach her, say, "I was an idiot. Come back. I understand everything now." But his legs wouldn't move. He stood and watched, like watching a movie, as if his life now belonged to someone else, and he was just a spectator. I waited for you to break, but in the end, I was the broken one. You just weren't playing, and I thought I was winning. He wanted her to beg. She just silently disappeared, and that was louder than any tears. "Hi, I don't know why I'm writing. Probably I just can't not write. So many times I wanted to, but each time I thought, too early. Not the right time yet. And now I understand. It's too late." He deleted it, rewrote it, then started recording a voice message. To himself, not to her. His voice was shaking. "You once asked me, just be honest." And I stayed silent, because I thought strength was in silence. Turns out, there's only weakness in it. He went through all the stages: anger, sarcasm, hurt, silence, contempt, and now the pain, pure, real, unfiltered. He wrote to her, "I miss you. I was wrong. I ruined everything." 3 messages, one after another. She read them and didn't respond, and he understood. She's not seeking revenge. She just doesn't return to fire. "You didn't leave because you didn't love me. You left because loving someone like me hurts." He saw her again, 2 months later, on the street near a bookstore, alone. She saw him and smiled, quietly, calmly, like nothing hurt. He wanted to say, "Come back." But in that moment he realized there was nowhere to return to. He thought she would fall to her knees, but now he stood before her, internally on his knees. She simply said, "I'm glad you're alive. Be careful with other people's trust. It's not infinite," and walked away. No hysteria, no tears. Like a person who never stopped loving, but stopped losing herself. The scariest thing isn't when someone hates you. It's when they stop being afraid of losing you. I wanted to be important, but became a warning. He came home, sat on the floor, took out her old letter, the one where she wrote, "I just want you to talk. Don't play games. Don't go silent. I love you, but I'm not eternal." He didn't read it then. He didn't believe she would leave. Now he reread it line by line, like the gospel of a lost life. I thought she was mine, but it turned out she was with whoever was with her, not above her. And I'll never know what life could have been if I had just remained human. A year passed. I didn't stop living, just there was nothing left to wait for. Everything became different, and so did I. But too late for anyone to see it. He started getting up earlier, quit drinking, started reading books she had recommended, back when he laughed and said, "That's not my thing." He was changing. And this wasn't for show, not a game. Something in him had died, and instead of that, understanding grew. I understood how much I hurt you, when I stayed silent, when I left to punish, when I pretended I didn't care, because I was weak. Strong people don't hurt others. Strong people stay and listen. And me? I destroyed everything to feel power, and was left with empty hands. He stopped trying to get her back. Didn't write, didn't call. He just sometimes sat by the window, put in his earphones, and listened to the voice message he once never sent her. "I miss you, but I know you're not waiting anymore." Sometimes he saw her online, accidentally, with friends, at events, smiling, with a new man. He wasn't jealous, wasn't angry. He was happy for her. But then, he'd stare at the ceiling and smile painfully, because he understood everything he had become now. He could have been then if he simply hadn't wanted her to suffer. He now often went to places where they had been together. That same bridge, that same bench. Sometimes he left a note, no address, no name. "Sorry, I only understood after I lost you. She was home, and I wanted to see what would happen if I left. Now I know. Nothing. Just wind. Just silence." On her birthday, he wrote a long letter, paper, real, folded it, put it in a drawer, and didn't send it. Because he realized this letter wasn't for her. It was for me. To say everything honestly at least once in my life. To someone, at least to myself. He no longer told friends about her. Didn't complain. He just carried her with him, like a scar he didn't want to heal. Because the pain was all he had left to remember how much she had loved him. "I wanted you to cry. And now, every time someone loves me, I think, please don't stop. I don't play games anymore." He starts writing. "You won't come back. I know this. And I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm writing to you to let go. Not you, myself next to you. The one who was afraid of love. The one who played at being strong. The one who wanted to be above you instead of being beside you. It seemed to me that if you stayed after I left, that would be proof that you were mine, that I had won. But love isn't victory. It's not a game. It's when you stay, even when you're scared, even when it hurts." And I left. He pauses, looks at the letter, closes his eyes. "Now you live without me, and that's right, because you remained yourself, and I became you, only after I lost you." He wanted control, wanted to prove he was in charge, that if he left, they'd beg him to return. But here's what he didn't understand. When you love, you don't control, you accept, listen, speak. Love isn't war. It's not a chess game. It's not who gives up first. It's when no one leaves, even when it's hard, even when you want to. She didn't leave first, but she left forever, and he remained, with a letter, with understanding, with silence, and with one question: what would have happened if he had simply stayed and heard her before she disappeared?